All right, you are still watching Ways. 2nd of November marks the International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists, a pressing political priority across Council of Europe member states. Now, striving for full achievement of these fundamental goals, the organization is today equipped with a rich standard-setting arsenal aimed at safeguarding freedom of expression and at facing threats against it. This is a very, very important day, especially when we have some nations that are very, very, antagonistic towards journalists, always attacking journalists, always, jailing them and all of that. No form of freedom, This is a day to keep on reminding us that people that are in front of your TV screen that are, some of them are putting their lives at risk just by reporting certain kinds of story. I don't think we have those kinds of extreme here in Nigeria, right? Because somehow I feel like we still do not have that independence of a media, like the way you would have a media really call out leadership, call out the government, and all of that, like you have in other climes. But you see, in Nigeria, we still have a bit of, rubbing palms and here and there with the media. Yeah, because, if we had a media that was really, really, out there to report things, it would have been seeing a lot of buzzwords online. But hey, that's why, social media is a bit of, it's a bit of a break, from that norm of, trying
because
to
you can be
stories.
faceless and
yes,
just
say it as it is.
Exactly.
But this is for journalists. I know journalists that have had their heads smashed, cameras burnt, so many things. I mean, there's so many stories that, especially the ones that work in the field. I mean, I think I have a good friend, Amaka Okoye. She covered a lot of all the kidnapping stories, all the children that were kidnapped and all of that. I mean, she told me one time that, I think I need to go in for therapy. Because, when you hear this kind of stories as a journalist, it's a lot, And now you then go to, after seeing all of the things happening in the field, you're not able to report it as it is. Because you're afraid that, there might be some form of crime, or arrest or something that will be made against you.
Or even the leadership of that organization.
Absolutely, can just sack you quietly. Say, just be going. That's so true. I didn't even think about that. But hey, Adela, what did you find for us in the news?
Okay, so today I saw something quite interesting. The good people of Ondo State, can begin to explore the alternative dispute resolution approach signed today by Governor Akeredolu. This he signed into law the multi-door court bill. And I think that is a good step in the right direction, considering the cost and the delays, that happen within the court system in Nigeria. People can begin to explore this opportunity to, speed up justice or speed up whatever situations that may arise. But more importantly, I think this would reduce cost, and then this would also reduce the way people begrudge each other, and of course the mediators or the tribunal, the AGL tribunal, they are much more, their process is not as cumbersome as the regular legal process. I think that's fantastic, and people can begin to explore that option, sometimes when you take a matter to the court, it escalates beyond what even you, as the person who took it to the court, would expect. And there's a lot of bad blood, feud that comes out of that. But with ADR, I think we can begin to explore the soft side of people.
Subtle way of resolving issues.
Of resolving issues. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Let us pray that it works. Because I just have I don't know, well, let me not be biased, or let me not be, pessimistic, right? I mean, I just feel like, know how fantastic laws are, right? Once we just bring it to the Nigerian terrain, something would just, but hey, that's just an aside. All right, so my story is actually quite sad, because I don't even know how to take this news, because we're talking insecurity, and I feel like this can also breed some level of insecurity. It says 200,000 people displaced as Borno State government shuts down the IDP camps. Now, the decision by the Borno State government to shut down its internally displaced persons camps had pushed over 200,000 people affected by Boko Haram conflict into deeper suffering and destitution. Human Rights Watch said in a report that was released today. Now, according to the group, with the IDP camps closure, over 200,000 people have been displaced by Boko Haram conflict, who had been displaced by the Boko Haram conflict have been stripped of housing and food.
Oh my goodness.
This, as the governor, Babangana Zulum-led government failed to provide those removed with adequate alternatives, thereby violating their rights to housing, food, and livelihoods. Now, it says the 59-page report themed those who returned after suffering impact of IDP camps shutdown on people displaced by Boko Haram in Nigeria documents the effect of the shutdown, which have disrupted food for internally displaced persons, compelled them to leave their camps. So the Human Rights Watch says Nigerian authorities have failed to provide this adequate information or sustainable alternatives to ensure that their safety and their well-being is taken care of. So I don't even know how this would affect, because we're talking security. I know that, we know that the reason we have a very high level of kidnapping going on is because, again, you cannot take away that factor that a lot of people are hungry.
True.
And they've just turned to crime.
True.
To just, this is the quickest way to make money. The other day we were having a conversation and somebody was sending a message, on Monday, was saying that robbery has reduced. Robbery has reduced, but kidnapping has increased, right? So, people are now seeing a more lucrative way to make money without having to go the, because with armed robbery, it's a bit risky.
Dangerous,
Kidnapping, I just need to follow you well enough and carry you, then call your people, I've heard as little as 800,000, 1 million naira, people are being kidnapped. They'll say, okay, bring 50,000 naira ransom. So people are just, and it's because it's so lucrative. You're now seeing multiple kidnaps going on. So this kind of displacement, picture 200,000 people, right, being displaced. 200,000 people being displaced. If they do not have hope for food or water or shelter.
And those are basic things.
These are easy bits for the Boko Haram or these people that recruit.
Oh, absolutely.
What's it called? Recruit members to their crime. To easily just get them and say, you know what, come, we can give you food, we can give you shelter. All we need you to do for us is XYZ.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why a government will do this kind of a thing without providing an alternative.
But that's even strange, and I find that very, very, what's the word? Very strange, really, because for someone like a Governor Zulum that has been very proactive, when you talk about the North, he's one of the most proactive governors in the North.
Because his state was one of the most hit.
And everybody has just been praising him. He's doing so well and all that. So to have this is really, he almost negates all the good things he has done. And just, in fact, even today, or was it yesterday, I saw something around the fact that, he was giving a lot of scholarship to students and all that. But again, that does not work if these people do not even have the place. You can't go to school if you don't have the place to lay your head or a way to eat. This
is a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
It's going to explode, or it's to implode, or whatever you want to call it, because this is risk at itself. Security experts will tell you, you don't do this kind of things. You have to. In fact, when they were considering the banning of the quota, part of what was considered was also safety and security, so that it does not result into rise in crime. But let's take a break, because we have a lot to unpack on this security matter, and I'm sure my guests will have something to say about this. We'll come back from the break to discuss the security threat, or the alleged security threat in Abuja. Stay with us.